Yaho. Yaho. Hi. Ooh, this is gonna be, I'm probably not gonna be too chatty because I am trying to work on my full model. Um, like most people, I'm still very much a new, I've made a few models. The model on screen I've made a smaller chibi model, which is very, very outdated. I can show it. Wait, let me show it real quick. Just very quickly. It's very bad. Do know it's bad. Okie dokie. Do I even have the mod? Oh, I don't have any. I don't have the model on this PC. Oh, I didn't. I didn't know. I thought I had it on this PC. Guess not. It's just a small shitty model that I made just to quickly stream. Also, I turned up the noise. I added so it's a little bit louder. If it's too loud, I can always change it, but because I don't have a particularly loud voice, I thought it'd be a bit of a smart idea to turn up the noise a little bit. I hope background noise doesn't get too loud because of it. But you never know. You never know. But for right now, I am working on my model. Yippee! I'll just be using, I think I want to use this textured pen. No, not that one. Which one did I want to grab? Was it this one? I think it was this one. I want to use a little bit more texture in my model because this one's very smooth. And while I do like the smooth look, I think it can. Okay, thank you for glitching me, Studio. I do like textured line art a lot, but I also like smooth line art. So it's a bit of a. I don't know yet. The thing is, I don't like doing line art in Clip Studio, at least smooth line art, because it's not the type of texturing I like. I don't know. We'll see though. We'll see though. I think my noise is a little bit. Let me turn down the gain a little bit to like. Let's do this. Maybe no, maybe a little less. I turned the gain up because I noticed that in the last stream it was very, very quiet. So I gotta fix it. I'm still pretty new, so gotta figure stuff out. But I'm probably not gonna be too yappy in this stream because I'm actually trying to work on something. Um, but we'll see. We'll see how yap as I've become. Um, I'm not particularly good at doing rigging. I'm a little bit better at the art than the actual rigging. If you see my eyes go down, I have a screen tablet, which means my eyes go all the way down. So my model doesn't like that. Or, well, my camera doesn't because I have a cheap fucking camera. Also, I noticed my laugh on the last stream because I, like, quickly rewatched some parts of it to see, like, if, I wasn't being absolutely delusional. I was. I was. But, um, I was very quiet. I was very nervous, probably on the last stream, a little bit more than now. Because I'm not particularly good at talking. Some people would disagree, but I'm not a very good speaker. I did do public speaking a lot in school when I was in school. But I noticed my laugh is awful. I'm just because I don't have any like custom background audio. I'm just using some random free to use audio on Spotify. um I want to use different audio, but I don't know. I don't want to keep using Pikunika because I'll get bored of it, and I don't want to get bored of the Pikunika soundtrack because it's one of my favorites. Um I thought about using like game music, but I've noticed that a lot of games don't actually put their music on Spotify. They usually just either put them on YouTube, which is fine, or not put them anywhere. And you just suffer trying to find out where the actual music is stored. Or they put them on like albums that nobody uses anymore. It's so sad because there's so many albums that I'm like, oh, this is great. I love this album. And then you try to search for it and it's like, where 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 can I listen to it? Turns out nowhere. Suffer, peasant. I don't like this. No. Um, to be honest, when I work, I don't actually talk. I watch a lot of videos on YouTube when I do my art because drawing and also doing like, you know, streaming is pretty hard. I'm pretty sure most people feel somewhat like me. Wait, I gotta turn the. I have a layer here in the sidebar with the perspective ruler, so I don't have to constantly turn it off and on for small details. So I could just turn on then off the layer instead of having to turn off and on the actual ruler because I've tried that before. It's a hassle. It's a really big hassle. It's not worth it. Um, I guess that's cute. I guess we can do that. I'm gonna do the mouth, and some of the separation off stream because it's a bit tedious. Um, Also, I'm not feeling too hot. If I randomly take a break, that's maybe because, tummy ache. Yeah, I, IBS gang, rise up. Man, I think I need to take a break in a little bit, go to the bathroom. I shouldn't be saying that on stream, but who cares? I can always private the stream if I feel like it. Um, yeah. So I did a little bit of fixing with the eyes yesterday and a little bit of the colors and stuff, so not everything is set in stone. I need to take a break. I'll be back. I need to make a new scene real quick because I don't actually have a BRB because I only stream for usually an hour. Um, I think I've been streaming for what, 2 minutes or something? What, for like 10 minutes? Um, but I'm gonna go uh, take a small break. I'll be back. I'll make a new scene real quick. Hello. I hath returned. Yes, I am back. Anyways, back to drawing. I think I wanna change the face shape a little bit. It's a bit, Dorito shaped. Don't get me wrong, I want the more concave so I can add a little. Thank you. Thank you for being so smart. Um, I want to keep it a little bit more different than what you see on some models because doing it like this is a little bit easier to hide some of the layers for my model. Not every model should have my layer composition because I'm pretty bad. But for this model, I think it may be a bit smarter to keep a bit of the top of the head cut off so it's a little better. If you're here because you saw someone make a model and you may be like, oh, tutorial. No, no, this is not a tutorial. This is me not understanding how to make models and just winging it. I've been doing this for 2 years. I still don't understand rigging. I don't understand rigging. I never have, never will. Besides that, I hope everyone understands that I'm not very good at this. Where did my audio go? Oh, never mind. It was just quiet. So I want to work on the face, and maybe some of the shoulders and stuff, not particularly the whole body because that'd be way too much work for a 1 hour stream, but I'm doing my best. This stream may be a little bit shorter because this is a pretty brain heavy thing because I have to think like, oh, how would these layers work? Or how would these layers work? And then I'm just like, I don't know. Also, I'm just making a model just because I can. I'm one of those people that, like, I'm just like, I can draw. Why not just do everything by yourself? It gives you the most control, but it's also the most work. I think that for every artist that has made their own model, they are probably not as happy with it as they thought they would be. But that's okay. I mean, nobody is. Um, Streaming is stupid, and doing a lot of stuff on stream is hard. For me, when I draw, I struggle to speak because I'm using 100% of my brain power, which is not a lot. I got one of those brain cells in there and it does its best. It tries to hit every nook and cranny. It's struggling. Just like for me, the YouTuber models, even though I've made a few where the art was done, but I didn't get to the rigging because it was not that good. But you get to a point where you're just sort of not in the mood to draw another model for like the 17th time. Oh my god, my PC and my PC is right besides my legs. And I keep hitting it with my knee. That's uncomfortable. Anyways, I love drawing piercings, even though I'm not very good at it. I find it very fun. Because it's just a lot of forms. Should be there, yeah. But I think that shading piercings is like my most horrific thing because I so suck at it. I should have used a smaller brush size. Should I redo it? I'm gonna have to look at this for hours, so I want it to be right. I think I'm gonna do a different brush because I don't like it. I'm not liking it. Goodbye. We're gonna do a different brush. I have a bunch of brushes. I think I am gonna go with this one, just a lot smaller. I think this has like, yeah, this is the one I want. Yes. Um, yes, I like this one more. And a thinner brush, I think. Usually I go for a bit thicker liner and very clean liner for my full pieces, but I think on a model, because my model's pretty simple, I think everyone can see that my model is not the most detailed when it comes to like little sprinkles here and there. I know that most people have very detailed models with very detailed outfits and like this and that. I don't. I have a very simple model because I think it's fine. But you want to get some intrigue with your model. If it's not through, you know, shape language, it's pretty okay. It's not the greatest, but, you know, it does what it has to do. And because I have pretty good contrast in my model, color scheme-wise, you want to, instead of doing colors and adding just unnecessary detail, you can use stuff like line thickness or textured line art, because it does change the design of your model, because models are difficult. Oh, I don't like this song. Go away. I think a lot of beginner artists, when they start art, they're just like, I need to use this brush and that brush, and no, don't do that. You're going to start with, usually a lot of younger folk either start with airbrushes or textured brushes, which is not a smart idea. Not because it does a lot, it's because these types of brushes are far more forgiving when it comes to texture. Like if you're, let's say, a beginner artist and you start with a textured brush or an airbrush, you're going to think, oh, I don't need to learn these things because the brush covers up this and that. Please, when you're just starting out, use just like a hard round brush. Just a hard round brush until you've got some fundamentals down. Then you can maybe switch to like a different brush or like a small textured brush. But to begin with, definitely you should start just with a regular old hard round brush. I was lucky that I started off with a hard round brush because I thought it looked pretty. And now I can use textured brushes. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a professional artist, nor will I ever claim to be one. But if you are starting out, just start with a hard round brush because it's going to save your life. When you use a lot of brushes in your art, I think you should not use too many brushes. Unless you're doing stuff like, if they're brushes for like quick fixes, like hair like details and stuff. If you want to learn, I'm someone who uses not a lot of brushes. Don't get me wrong, you can use a few more for like texturing and stuff. It's fine, but for like a lot of stuff, hard round brush, lasso tool, airbrush, and maybe a paintbrush. That's about all I use for my whole work. I don't use anything else. Maybe for clothes, I'll use a flat brush, but I don't actually use that many texture brushes because I don't think it's good for me personally. I think that art is subjective, of course. It's a very subjective thing, but if you want to learn a lot of stuff, sticking to the basics probably is the best way to go. Because while, you know, texture brushes have their reason, and their way, if you can't apply them properly, you should not be using them. It's the same when you do traditional painting. You always start with just a regular rolled, either a flat brush or a like round brush, and that's all you use until you learn, oh, I can use these to add this type of texture, or I can use this, or I can use this. But the thing is, when you start and you use something you don't understand, it's not going to look good. When you add texture just for the sake of adding texture, it's going to look bad. And I think a lot of younger artists haven't noticed that before, that like, oh, I need to do this because this artist uses this brush, so I'm going to get their effect because they use this brush. That's not how it works. You cannot imitate this artist just by having their brush. Their brush is probably because they have a certain workflow, and this brush works for their workflow. Most of the time, it's not going to work for you. At least not if you don't have almost the exact workflow as them. For example, a lot of anime artists use softer brushes because they have similar, not similar art styles, but similar workflows. So specific type of brushes may work well for them. If you're someone who has, for example, a very painterly style, having the same brushes as this anime artist will not help you. It will only stop you from learning how to do, you know, the style you wanted to do, which is painterly art. And for painterly art, you need painterly brushes. So it works nice for painterly brushes. For me, like I said, I just use soft brushes and hard brushes. Like the only brushes I really use are the G Pen, the lasso tool. So the tool that you can get, like this tool, I just use that for filling in large spaces. And I use the round mixing brush and the painted apply brush, and sometimes I use the wash brush if I want just some little extra textures, you know? Because art should be learned, but it is also difficult, and I am also not a professional. And I will never be a professional because I don't intend to do that. But yeah, art weird, art difficult. I do not understand. I should first put down the bar instead of doing detailing. Yes. Also, a fun exercise you can do if you're learning to draw is just draw a bunch of shapes in different angles. It's fun. I sometimes do it for fun. Like, I just draw like circles and like planes, and then you like put where the creases are. That's really fun. I used to do it when I was bored a lot. I'm not gonna probably add physics to the earring because I could not be bothered. So I'm just gonna add it to the same layer. Yeah, I'm not adding the some of the piercings on this model that you're seeing move around now because I noticed there was a lot. Like, I like piercings and I like drawing them. I don't actually have as many as on my model. I want to someday get some of the piercings. Right now I only have 4, which is sad. I want more. I love piercings. I think they're really cool. But when you live in a country like the Netherlands, in rural towns like I do, no, no, piercings are not particularly liked here. Maybe in Amsterdam, but I'm gonna say this, Amsterdam is not a good way of learning about the Netherlands at all. Nope. If you want to go to the Netherlands, even if you go to a larger town, Amsterdam is not the way to go because You're going to not only constantly be forced in tourist traps, but you're also just gonna be fucked over financially for everything. Like, I saw someone, I'm not joking, pay €7 for a stroopwafel. What the fuck? Those things are like $2 max, bro. It wasn't even like extra toppings or anything, just one. $7. What? I don't I don't understand people sometimes. I'm just like, you would willingly pay that much for a pretty mid cookie. I said it. I think they're mid. There's so many better like Dutch cookies and candies that you can have, but it's the only one that most tourists will actually go for because they're scared of some of the other cookies. One of them being, I'm just gonna translate it, I'm not gonna say the rule. It's like the pink cookie. It's a type of like cakey consistency with a pink layer, and people get scared to eat it because they learn that they used to have bugs as dye. Your makeup also has that bug in the dye. It's fine. It's fucking fine. It's just a bug, dude. I think I'm one of the only people that's like not particularly grossed out about eating bugs if you can't see the like the features of the bug. But I mean, I don't like eating meat when I get the features of the meat anyway. So at this point, I'll eat bugs, no problem. I mean, I've gotten close to eating a mealworm, like a dried one. I was feeding ducks and they were like munching on them, and I was like, oh, this must be fucking tasty then. Mm, I don't think mealworms are that good, but I wanted to try them. I didn't because I'm not that mentally insane. um, I've been streaming for like 30 minutes. I've drawn like nothing. This is how my yap sessions start. It's a new layer. Yeah. I think I want to do like this shape as the highlight. I'm doing the liner of the highlight not because you're going to see the highlight line, but because I like drawing the line. So I know where to place the shading. Because I usually do shading before I do highlighting. Mm. Um should I do the neck first or should I do the back hair? Because the hair is like the most horrific of models. As you can see with this one, I didn't particularly put too much effort into separating most of the hair pieces. I want to do it with this one a little bit more. I'm still gonna do it pretty shittily, but I'm gonna do it a little better. A little bit. I'm not gonna have both the front hair piece of the pink hair be one layer because that is so horrific when you're doing the rigging. It was not fun. It was not fun. I have something stuck in my throat. I'm gonna do the neck first. I want to do the neck and then maybe the eyes. When doing models, you want to have the neck stump. Neck stump. To be honest, drawing the stump of the neck is the easiest part of the model. And like the face outline, I'd say. It's like the easiest part of the model. But yeah, I'm pretty quiet when I draw. I know I'm a big yapper, but when drawing, I think drawing and yapping is like some of the hardest stuff. Boop. I fill in these things because my model is not going to be one of those like super high range models that you could see. No, it's just a model that you can watch and does what it's supposed to do. I mean, if it works, it works. I don't think models have to be that specifically like perfect. God, my hair. Um, I think for like a model that you're using that you make yourself, you don't need the most perfect model. Of course, if you have a beautiful, very expensive model, you're probably gonna get views from it, but who cares? Who cares? At this point, I just want my funny OC to be drawn, you know? That's how this shit works. You know, some people I've had conversations about rigging and stuff, and they're just like, "Oh, you need expressions." I don't have expressions on any of my model. You want to know the only expression on this model? Ears. That's it. I have funny bunny ears. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna add them to this model because I don't really want to. It was more just like an ad because it was a funny inside joke, about one of my first model designs being a bunny. But then I was like, no. I hope you can't hear my stupid pen making a bunch of noise. So Wacom pens have this texturing on them, which is nice when you're drawing, but is not nice when you're streaming. I think that like you can hear it because I did hear it on like the last stream a little bit, but I wasn't really doing line art, so I think you may hear it a little more right now than on the last stream. Okay, we've got the top of the eye, then we do the side of the eye because that's very important to have the sides of the eye. Dude, eyes are so... I hate rigging eyes so much. I'm really bad at it. I'm really bad at it. But it's also just not really fun. Do I like that shape? It's a bit heavy on the bottom. I think I want to shave it off a little bit and then do this a little more. Maybe that's better. That's better. Yeah. I think that like even if you have a sketch, you want your model to be not too decided by the sketch because that just limits creativity. Unless you're working for a company, then you should follow the sketch that you gave them. But for like doing personal work, sticking to a sketch like one to one is probably the worst thing you could do. I think the top lashes are too long. I think they're too long. And the bottom lashes don't round the top lash enough. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna do the eyes. So good. My art style doesn't actually work that well when it comes to like VTuber model stuff because oh my lord. VTuber art and VTuber models, you know, they're very specific that you have to have very 3D looking layering. And when you have an art style like mine that works predominantly by not by being very flat and working with the medium of 2D art, you kind of get to a point where you're just like, should you be drawing this way when you're doing a model? Probably not. Who cares? But I've learned a lot when it comes to model art. There's something I do not like, but I don't know what it is. Is it the eyes? I think it is. I think the eyes are going in a little bit too much. It's a bit better. Then we have to draw the other stuff because art takes time. I'm trying to think of things to say. I don't know if anyone has noticed. I'm also just going to pretend that there's people in my chat and people watching when there are none. Because, you know, that's what they said you should do. That's what they said you should do. You should just keep talking to yourself as if you do have an audience. Which, I mean, I'm one of those freakies that talks to themselves anyway. God. I'm gonna do the eyebrows last because they're on the top of the model. I like putting them on top, like I do with this model. I don't know, it's more of a stylistic choice and also a lazy cut, so I don't have to do the whole, like, double layering for the hair. Because double layering is annoying. Should I do the mouth? I don't know. Let's just do, like, the main part of the mouth and then do the rest later. Because I have to do a straight mouth for the underside and the rest as this, so. I'm not gonna do any coloring because coloring and a lot of stuff I'm going to do probably off stream. I thought this would be a little bit more of a like chill, laid back stream, just drawing a little bit of the line art. I should do the moles underneath. Just turn off the layer. The thing that I hate most is that I have to add a bunch of layers just for the small mole, because on this one I did it on the face layer and it just does not look good. So I'm gonna make it its own layer. I should probably start with the hair. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw everything into this folder so I can make it a little bit more transparent so I don't draw layers I can't see. Also, it makes it a little bit easier for me to just not have a bajillion layers. So you can turn it a little bit transparent. And then draw the hair properly. This is what I do. I mean, some people don't, some people do. Doesn't really matter. Oh, I like the little bit of the side a little more than the original sketch. I did it on my model too, on this one, on the moving one. When it comes to hair, I'm gonna probably be pretty quiet because it's very specific and I need to get it right because it's such an important part of the model. Sorry. Sorry. Should I put, yeah, I should do the second part as a new layer so I can move better. The more you add layers and all of those things, the more shading layers you have to do, the more this is going to impact your CPU, by the way. I think a lot of people, when they start creating a model, they also forget, like, layering does impact your CPU and your memory. So if you have too many layers, your stream's gonna be impacted. That's why this model is pretty easy. It doesn't have too many parts, so it, you know, the super high-end models you see can only be run on, like, better PCs. So please think of your specs before you start either commissioning or making your own model. Because your specs do impact the quality of how your model moves. It has a piece here, but I think it goes outwards, not inwards, but it doesn't... give me a second to think about it. I think I want to go inwards instead of outwards, so it's a bit better. Also, I don't line every part of my hair layers because I don't find it very important, and also it just clutters things up, makes it difficult to rig. Also, I'm a bit head empty right now. It's been stupidly warm for the past few days, and that kind of fried my brain. That should be over here. That looks fine. The one thing with my model that is a bit difficult is these pieces are attached, so they need to be long pieces, which is going to be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. This is why I don't like doing art streams sometimes, because it's it's a bit difficult to notice what type of things sorry, I'm also changing the music. It's a bit sometimes difficult to stream and also do artwork, because artwork takes a lot of effort. I have to be honest, any like actual like full artist that does both streaming and art a bunch of times, like daily, how do you do that? I'd actually perish before getting anywhere. It looks so silly. Gotta put that one underneath so I don't forget. I am going to probably stop streaming when it hits an hour, so yay. I'm gonna do these bangs and the pink hair bang, and then probably I'm gonna stop streaming and do the rest off stream. Or just tomorrow. I think it's gonna be tomorrow because I'm pretty sleepy. I'm pretty sleepy. I think I need to turn off these layers and turn this one down a little bit more. Also, if I want to draw specific lines with line art, I usually just flip the canvas. It makes it a bit easier to draw specific types of line art because I'm right-handed, so right curves are easier for me than left curves. Mm-hmm. That should be good. I don't need everything to be super detailed, but I do need these to connect. These probably should be 2 pieces, but I cannot be bothered. That should be good, right? Right. Sometimes I check on my main screen to see if, like, in a smaller version, if it looks okay. That seems to be good. Because you can see it on a big screen, but then when you, like, transfer it into, like, your rigging software or any other software, it just looks too blown out or too small or... Oh god, this is gonna be a bit of a... Okay, it's gonna look bad because the curve doesn't match properly, so I have to change this curve to be more inward. Right? I mean, I didn't do it for the last model. Also, yes, I make a lot of noises. Sorry. Sorry. I don't like this piece of hair. It looks too thin and scraggly. But I'm gonna keep it anyway because it's part of the design. That extra line did make it look a lot better. And then I'm gonna do the front piece of the pink piece, and then I'm gonna stop streaming. She's gonna be on top. I don't have a pop filter, so I hope that my P sounds don't sound fucking weird. I may actually private this, or like unlist it, because I wasn't particularly that interesting. I need to redraw this. The size is too small. Like my last stream, I was thinking of privating it because it wasn't particularly interesting either, but like my yapping was a little bit more, so I kept it, but I don't know if I'm gonna keep this one. Yeah, so everything I've drawn right now is these lines. That's all. Mm. That was very oh, why are you over there? Let me make myself a little bigger. Yeah. So that was all I wanted to do for today. Um, yeah. It wasn't particularly interesting. I usually don't talk when I draw. I need to practice drawing and talking at the same time. I'm not very good at it. But yeah, I hope the stream was like a little bit interesting. A little bit. Anyways, goodbye.